Hello and welcome back to Game of Nutrition podcast, where we talk about health, wellness, and everything in between. I'm your host Khadija, a qualified dietitian and a food product developer. Today's episode is extra special because I'm sitting across from my former hostel roomie from bachelor's days. She's an incredible clinical nutritionist. We have come a long way from hostel food. What do you say?
So, hello everyone, and thank you so much, Khadija, for having me today. And as Khadija said, we go a long way back, like almost 5 or 6 years. So, we have been together for our bachelor's and a master's, and we have been roommates. We have seen each other like learn and grow. And today, like we both in both of our fields are trying our best to make the nutrition more easy, more simple, and especially rooted in science. Like that's what we both are trying our best to do. And here we are today.
Yes. So today our episode is about celebrity diets debunked. We are going to look at all the viral diets and actually find out the truth behind them, how many are actually followed, and how many are just there to create the virality index. So uh, let's jump right into the main topic for today, that is Aryabhat's no rice rule. So what celebrities do is they have a team of chefs and trainers who work for them and can backfire regular people if you follow any of the diets without checking the facts behind them.
That's
So today we'll separate those facts from fiction and even grade these diets. So before we get into the game, let's talk about rice and what our Indian diet suggests about rice.
okay. So, first and foremost, very loud and very clear, coming from a dietitian, rice is not the villain. Like we have been taking rice as a villain for a long period of time, over a decade now. Like rice has become a villain for everyone. They are just no, we don't eat rice. We have stopped eating rice. Yeah and wo. Like for what? Do you ever thought of it? Like why? Our ancestors have been eating rice for over years and generations. Rice has been a staple for years because India and Asia is a greater rice producer, and what we produce, we tend to consume it more. And it has been a staple in diet over a very long period of time. So nothing happened then. So how would something change over a decade? It can't be. It's just myths going all around. It's just lack of awareness going all around these things. So more awareness, more knowledge, more science has to go in all of this to know what's right and what's wrong. Not just something is said or not just something is going viral, have to be idealized for any reason.
Also,
So
Arya said that she is not following rice and she's completely cutting down rice to stay lean. But is rice really fattening? Or is it about the portions or is it about pairing rice? What do you say?
okay. So first and foremost, about fattening, there is no direct connection or linking between rice leading to obesity. Okay. So fattening कब होता है? When you consume something too much or you are overeating, you're exceeding your caloric requirement. Okay. So that time that extra calories you're consuming are getting stored in your body as fats. And these fats accumulate in your body over time, and this leads to obesity. Okay, rice doesn't directly lead to obesity. And second of all, that rice has so many other things, has so many other importance, and how to include it in the diet is what people have to know so that they stop thinking it as a villain. Okay, so rice may have a higher glycemic index. Okay, so white rice we are consuming, it's more polished, so the glycemic index is higher. But how to balance that is what we need to see, like including more fibers in form of vegetables and roots in your diet, and also adding more protein like dal, chicken, egg, whichever protein you prefer, and fats which are naturally in your food, like you're adding oil, you're adding nuts, something oil seeds you're adding to your diet. So this all together when come as a whole meal, this balances the insulin spike. It balances the glucose index of the food overall. Okay, if you're having rice alone, then it will spike your blood glucose because it's just one thing, just starch. And if you're pairing it with fiber, with protein, and with fats, which take longer time to digest, so overall, this will reduce the glycemic index of your food. And like this, you can have it as a balanced meal. And I do suggest people having this as a balanced meal. Okay. And when you're eating rice, there are three things that you need to follow. Okay. There are three rules of having rice. First is portion, second is time, and third is the quality. So coming to the portion size, okay. So the portion size is very important. I don't suggest having a hip full of rice at a time. Please know that is not required. So having one katori, 1 cup of rice, cooked rice, 1 katori flat is okay. You can have it once a day or twice a day if you are willing to. But it's based on many other factors like your activity factor and all. So 1 cup of rice or 1 katori of rice at a time, it's heads up, you can have it. There is no issue with having that much of rice. Second is time. So when you're having rice is more important. Mostly which dietitians tell you to have is post workouts or during the lunch periods. The reason behind is like during workouts, your body is drained of energy. You're working out your calorie, you're working out your body. So your body needs quick source of energy during that time. Okay, and rice is one of the quick source of energy you will get. So rather than using some juices or slurpees, which nowadays are trending, you can have rice paired with some nice amount of protein like chicken or eggs. Okay, so that will make a perfect meal post workout and also during lunchtime. So why lunchtime? Lunchtime because these are the period of time where your insulin sensitivity is high because your body is used to that during this period of time in the day your body is used to consuming larger amount of food. So your body gets the metabolism gets used to like process that amount of food. So the insulin sensitivity is high during this period of time. So mostly we suggest lunchtime or post lunch. Many people also ask me like, can we have rice at night? We are not allowed to have rice at night or something like that. So that's not like needed or really a thing because you can have rice, but again, if you're having late dinners like around 9 or 10 and then you're sleeping within next 2 hours, please no, don't do it because your body needs time to digest the things and also activity is very much low during that period of time. Like post lunch, you have so much of time to move around and to digest it properly. But at night, have a early dinner around 7 or 8, and then have a nice 2 to 3 hours of gap between, so that it's digested properly. And portioning is also important. Like one katori you're having at 8 p.m. It's totally fine. So these three rules, like portion, time, and the type. Type mostly we are consuming white rice. The other types are red rice, black rice, brown rice also, which is very much trending, and people are going and buying brown rice. So if you're sourcing it directly from the farmer, my God, you're having treasure if you're sourcing it directly from the farmers. But if you're going and buying it from some retail store or some supermarket, then the whole story, the clear picture is behind the packet. Please keep it in mind. Like behind the pack, you have that nutrition label, which tells you in detail everything, okay, which needs to be checked. People just see brown color, brown rice written, and they just pick it up and bring it home. Okay, same goes with brown sugar. So you need to check the nutrition label which is behind and check its nutrient content, its sourcing, etc. to get a good product because you're investing money. Then why not? You're investing money, you're investing in your health, then you should know what you're eating and what is going inside your body. And the red and black varieties are mostly common to the northeastern states, but others also based on palatability and other factors you can have it. So these three factors are which very much important to keep in mind while you're having rice.
Okay, so we learned about how to eat rice, when to eat rice, the amount of rice that we should have. But coming back to what we were thinking about, or Alia Bhatt's no rice rule. So we have a lot of clients who come in. They mention we'll just stop eating rice when we lose weight. So when you compare losing weight to eating rice, what's your stance on it?
Okay. So losing weight, if you're on a weight loss journey, you can have rice. It's not a set rule that cutting down rice will help you lose weight. So first of all, told you about the portion size, like consumption. If you're over consuming, eventually you will gain more weight. Okay, it's not just rice. Anything which you're consuming will gain more weight. Also, like when we see resistant starch, okay, rice when we cooked and when we cooled it, there is more of resistant starch in it, which is very much essential and feeds your good gut microbiota. Okay, so people who are more going havoc about the gut health, the gut health is like a more prominent thing nowadays. People are focusing more on that. So if you want to focus more on your gut health, then you should consume white rice. You can have it, but in portion, of course. But this helps in regulating your hormones like leptin or insulin sensitivity, helps in metabolism, gives you satiety for a longer period of time. Okay, so cutting down rice won't lead to weight loss. If you are cutting down of rice, like if you are listening to someone and you get influenced, so okay, she said that she's not having rice, so I will do that, and I will have that ideal body type or something you're visualizing. So it's not at all true, because you might stop. You are a rice eater, born rice eater, if you're a born rice eater, and then you suddenly stop eating rice overnight. Over a period of 5 or 4 days, you can't go more than that. If you're a prominent rice eater since your childhood, you will crave for it. And once you start craving for it, you will end up indulging more, you will end up eating more, and this eating more is going to lead to weight gain at last. Okay, so better than stopping it and overindulging in something, you should have it like portioned all around in your meals, like properly portioning it during given times, that will help you sustain your current weight. Okay, and like if you by any chance you did this no rice thing, okay, for a prolonged period of time, like around 4 3 4 months, okay, then that your body gets used to, your body is used to consuming these things, heavy caloric food or heavy food at one time, okay, and then you suddenly stop it, you stop it, then your body goes in a form of shock that we are not getting the required calories. What are we doing? Are we starving ourselves? So the body start storing all the energy you're eating, whatever you're eating, whatever goes inside, the body starts storing it, and the fewer calories are burned. Even if you do something, the fewer calories are burned. Your metabolism totally slows down because of these things, and eventually there is no means of weight loss, no weight gain. Weight maintenance becomes a very hard thing if you do extreme things like this, like stopping something, a major food group from your diet suddenly out of nowhere without any reasons. If you don't have any specific medical conditions, if you don't have some restrictions, then why to stop rice? Because it's not harming you until and unless you don't know how much and when to eat.
Yeah. And even we have concluded clearly that stopping rice alone will definitely not make you lose weight. There was this friend of mine, she came to me and she was like, I've stopped eating rice. But later, she was not, losing weight, she was instead gaining weight. So later I found out, like I asked her what you're eating in your normal routine. She's like, I stopped eating rice. I just have some oats biscuits and some healthy biscuits in between meals because I feel hungry because rice gives you that satiety index. If you're avoiding that, you're having something packaged that is named healthy, but if you check the caloric count of both of those, 100 grams of 30 grams is your ideal portion for rice. Now, 30 grams of rice, cooked rice, would give you 100 kilocalories, whereas the same healthy biscuits, two, three, would not give you the same satiety level. At the same time, the caloric count will go
Exactly.
definitely more high.
Yes,
So it's very
absolutely.
simple. That's where balance and total calories are what matters. And why do Arya and all these celebs do this? Because what they are doing is they're doing a short term carb cutting
Thing.
just for their shoot or some scene or whatever. So this can cause a lot of issues with rebound. If you stop eating rice for a period of time, it can rebound cravings, and cravings that are more caloric dense than what rice is. So it's better you have a bowl of rice instead of, just stopping rice completely and going in for something else. There's also this new trend that's going on Instagram that says cooling rice overnight, and that helps in boosting the resistant starch. What's your say on that?
Like there are so many trends, so many things going on. Like, what will this overnight thing do? Like, can't you think if you're doing something, you're soaking nuts overnight, okay, you're reducing their phytate level. But rice, there's no scientific knowledge or no scientific backing which supports this kind of thing, especially for the resistant starch part. Fermentation, one time I would say okay, but the resistant starch part, I don't think so. It is something backed with science.
So if you store cooked rice overnight in the fridge, it actually helps in building resistant starch in the rice, because if it's cooked, it's like, putting in a pudding of
Cooked and cooled over time, right?
cooked. Yeah, so you're putting in a pudding inside the fridge. Now that pudding, that carb or the starch in the rice will degrade over time and it will get converted into resistant starch. So it's much better to have it overnight, cooled, next day, heated and then
But
consumed.
okay, but again, the thing is heating it. You're heating it again, you're cooking it one day, you're keeping it. Okay, it builds resistant starch, but again, we can't have that cold rice. We are heating it again. So it's like interferes with the resistant starch structure also. What do you think?
Uh,
If you're
I, I
heating it
I don't
again,
know. It doesn't get affected if you heat resistant starch. It doesn't degrade back to this original form of the starch. Once it's resistant, it
okay.
cannot get converted back into the simple carb that we have. So it is a probable option, but if you control your portion size well in advance, you do not need to do that.
You
Only in
don't need to
cases
do
of
this thing.
extreme, like diabetes or some
Diabetes or
conditions
something,
where you cannot chew properly, and you suppose you have diabetes and
you
you
have
cannot
to do
chew,
it. You
but
have
you
no
have to
other
have rice.
option.
Yeah, then that's where you
That's,
can
in
opt for those options.
Yeah, in insulin sensitivity cases and all, this can be very
Mhm.
helpful when you're less in insulin sensitivity. So you need to have rice and your insulin sensitivity is low. Then in that cases, this can absolutely be helpful. But if, for a layman who is like having normal rest, doesn't have any health condition as per se. So for them, I don't think so. This is something which we would recommend, like storing the cooked food. But in special cases, of course, we can recommend them doing this. And
Also,
also, you
Alia, but
said, okay, sorry.
yeah, yeah, continue, continue.
Now, also, you said about the healthy snacks thing. And the irony is,
Mhm.
people are saying they are avoiding rice, but they are having rice crackers. They are having rice
Yeah.
crackers as a healthy option, which are just dunked in some fructose syrup, and they are like sugary thing, and they are just petting on 1 or 2 tablespoon of peanut butter on it. Like it's butter, it's made of nut, it's high in fat, it's high in calories. So you are over consuming over there. You're increasing your calorie count overall. Rice or rice cracker, it's the same ingredient. So what? Why do people stop eating rice and they're having rice crackers? So they should like better think pair it rice with some vegetables or protein instead of pairing rice crackers which are high in sugar with something high in oil and fats.
Yeah, even just a teaspoon of ghee will do the work with your rice.
Yeah.
So, coming to what Alia Bhatt actually did was she did not stop rice at all. What she followed was a keto diet for a short period of time, in which her nutritionist had advised her to reduce rice because there is a restriction of carb content throughout your day, like not more than 50 grams.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, the
where
keto diet.
people just pick up one word from the whole, dietary guideline, no rice, and then they have, made it viral.
Yes, they mean like they don't think what goes behind this. They just see the one caption and they'll say, okay, no rice. But why and what? She has trainers, she has nutritionists, she has everyone trained in that field behind her who are giving those things, and the diet is done under constant supervision all the time. And she has different health goals, she has different work goals, so that's for her. What she is doing, it's not something you should be doing, because your body, your work, your likes, your dislike is built up totally different. That's where personalized nutrition comes in. Okay, so that whatever she is doing, she's doing keto, she's having not having rice or anything, that's her perception, and that's her needs which are being tailored to her likings. And what you need, what your body needs, what is your condition is different, and that can't be same. You can't idolize people just if they are celebrity. They are good at setting trends in fashion and everything, but in nutrition they are having experts of their own. Okay, so they are not having any health repercussions, but if lay person are following them blindly without knowing anything about it, then they are going to face like problems later on in their like overall health.
Okay, so let's move on to our game because our game exactly, physically will show you whatever Hazel just mentioned is actually true and how, simple statements become trends and people start following it without knowing the repercussions. So today our game is Celeb Diets Report Card. So here are the rules. I'll name a celeb and their diet claim, and our nutritionist Hazel, she will grade them from A plus to F. And we'll explain the science behind the grade and as well as offer a smart alternative that actually will work for your health. So let's begin
Okay.
with one with our very famous Kareena Kapoor. So she follows no salt diet and she's avoids salt completely to stay bloat free for rolls. Now, what do you grade this diet?
No salt diet. Does she have hypertension, kidney issues, or something? To stop salt totally? Like, no, it's a D, maybe, like not a fail totally. Okay, if there's some medical condition like hypertension, too much of high BP, high blood pressure, or there are some renal condition in which you need to control the electrolytes. In that condition, we do recommend restricting salt. That too, it is done under supervision. Okay, overall restricting your diet, salt in your diet is not necessary for a totally healthy person. The anti-bloating thing, like, it's just okay. We say that salt absorbs water and it can lead to puffiness and all that things are going on in people. So you don't need to restrict. If you are having your meal properly, your metabolism, like you're working out, you're doing all other things, you're hydrating yourself well, you don't need to restrict salt from your diet throughout. Your electrolyte levels can go hayway if you do these things. So until and unless there is some specific condition you are having in which you need to do this, I do not recommend restricting salt at all, like restricting salt from your diet overall. So it's a D.
And salt restriction, basically she's restricting sodium from her diet. When she's restricting sodium is the one which maintains our fluid balance. And it can even cause a hyponatremia risk as well as muscle cramps and sodium.
Muscle cramps and brain activity is
Yeah,
also hampered in that.
yeah. And when you talk about hyponatremia, just to explain, hypo is low, natremia is sodium in your blood. So when that happens, a lot of osmosis issues with your bloodstream and the water content in your body. And definitely, bloat fix is not a weight loss fix at the end of the day.
Yes.
Bloat, okay, she followed a no salt diet, but was it her permanent lifestyle choice? Was it something like that? uh, it wasn't.
But she
So
followed a
she
long
did
period
this
of
for a
time or not.
temporary period of time, just for, one shoot, one scene. And her permanent lifestyle choices, we all know Rujita Devikar's diet she follows, and uh,
Yes.
that's exactly what we do not need to, get into. Just, look at one statement, no salt, and then,
Yes.
jump into not eating
Absolutely.
salt.
Absolutely, absolutely. We should know like for how much period of time they are doing, how they are doing everything before we blindly follow them. Just looking at one statement given by them. We don't go to the back end of the story. We just listen. The people just listen and start following these things, which are not good at all. I'd say.
And coming to the better alternative to this no salt diet, we come across these solutions, okay? We come up across Himalayan pink salt or some other
Pink
form of
salt,
salt.
yes. Potassium
So,
rich. Black
what do you
salt.
say about it?
Yes, most of the people say like हमने नमक बंद कर दिया, we stopped salt, we are having pink salt or we are having black salt or something like that. But why? What's the need? Your salt is iodized for a reason, so have that normal
Exactly.
salt. Pinks, yeah, iodine levels. For that, they are iodizing your salt, which is available in the market. So that's the reason you should add it. And instead of that, you're having some pink salt and all. It is not fortified with iodine, and again it's high in potassium. For some kidney patients, most of the kidney patients say that हमें salt बंद करने को बोला है, like hypertensive patient salt बंद करने को बोला है, then we are taking pink salt instead. But do you know the higher potassium levels in it? Not just sodium, you will also need to look other micronutrients, phosphorus, potassium, everything. And the pink salt is high in potassium, which we don't need, like we don't want to give it to kidney patients. So everything should be considered. You should take advice before blindly following it.
And yes, pink salt has like 84 minerals. There's lots of ads coming in. It is beneficial because of the number of minerals it has, but you are risking your sodium and potassium balance in your body, number one. Number two, you are risking iodine. Now, these two are more important than switching your salt just for the rest of the minerals. So maybe you can have a combination of Himalayan salt as well as your regular salt, but do not stop your regular table common salt because
Table salt.
that is why iodine was a issue which led to the
Issue
law that your salt has to be iodized
has
in
to be
India.
fortified, right?
So yeah, so that's where we come to the conclusion of no salt diet. Let's move ahead. So this is another favorite cricketer for the Indians. Virat Kohli's diet is paleo plus eggs diet, wherein he eats a lot of eggs, avoids processed foods. It's a classic paleo style, and he avoids processed foods, refined sugar, and eats whole foods like eggs, vegetables, meats. Eggs are a staple in his daily diet. What would you grade it?
A plus. A plus because he's cutting down on processed foods. Like not A plus, maybe A, because he's focusing more on whole foods and cutting down the processed foods in diet, which is like thumbs up. Like you need to avoid the processed food as much as you can because more processed food has more sodium, more fats, more additives, which are very much dangerous to your health, as we all know. So including this whole foods thing is good, and just focusing on eggs might be you can have other protein sources also, like there are other very much different protein sources. Like if you're having just eggs, whole eggs, the fat content may be a little bit higher. You can have lean chicken or lean meats instead, like just for a change you can have it, because shifting just to eggs for like a major period of time, then you are also consuming that much amount of fats. Okay, so the egg part you can like have alternatives for it, and other things like unprocessed thing, whole foods and all. So that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, and have all the essential amino acids. That's a good thing. It is crucial for his protein recovery, his workout recovery, or after his matches. But what comes as an issue with eggs is cholesterol. Now, all of us do not have the LDL levels of our bodies would not match the number of eggs that we are having. So, if you're having 7+ eggs per week, it may raise your LDL levels. And for
Absolutely.
most people, moderate intake does not signify high blood cholesterol. However, almost 30% of the people, they are hyper responders to bad cholesterol when they
Bad cholesterol.
consume egg. So excess LDL will definitely lead to atherosclerosis, which is the narrowing of your arteries,
The
and this
arteries.
can lead to risk of heart disease. So The diet as such is amazing, but he's a vegetarian who eats eggs. So what he's eating as a protein source would not consider, chicken, meat, or anything else. It would be
Yes,
the vegetarian sources and the eggs. So that
absolutely.
would
The
be his
chicken and
pitfall.
yes, the chicken and all sources are for layman person who wants to follow that kind of diet. For him as a vegetarian, he can have paneer, he can have soya in that terms, which is soya chunks. He can have like we get soya chap, soya chunks in a market, or whole beans, whole legumes instead of just having eggs or just having something like that as a vegetarian. If you are non-vegetarian, then do swap eggs with chicken or something else. And as he's an athlete, his protein requirements are higher, so they need to have that much of protein in their diet. But just consuming, focusing on eggs totally is not something we would recommend, because, as you said, the LDL levels go high, and we do not want that because, like, other heart conditions and atherosclerosis, as you said, is something pretty much serious, and people should know how to balance it. The key is balance. First of all, the key is balance. You should know how to balance your food throughout, and not just focus on one food group.
And how much would you, restrict egg? Like how many eggs per day?
Per day, like one egg per day is fine. 1 to 2 eggs a day is fine, but not every day you will have two eggs. No. Like, you can distribute over a period of time. Like, in a week you can have twice or thrice. Okay, not every single day of the week. Then it will end up having more than, if you have single egg a day for 7 days, it will end up having 7 days a week. Okay, having egg 7 days a week, which we don't want. So you can just divide it among the days, like Mondays, or between days, between Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that.
And definitely switching from paleo to a Mediterranean style of meal is the best option because it will add on to all the whole foods, lean protein, eggs,
Fibers,
as well as the fats, the healthy fats that come in
healthy
olive
fats,
oil.
and legumes. Yes, in
Yes, yes,
Mediterranean
and the
diets, they are
fiber.
most focused on legumes, and so legumes and
Yes,
all,
yes.
fish also. But as he's a vegetarian, we won't recommend him fish, but others can switch to chicken or fish or
And
other
it's a
options.
heart-friendly diet as well, so it's a
Yes,
win-win.
absolutely.
Okay, let's move ahead. So Shilpa Shetty's gluten-free trend. Now she has even launched a lot of products that are gluten-free. But what is it? What is the grade, and is it a smart or a scam move?
Sorry, I lost you in between.
I asked what is her grade, Shilpa Shetty's gluten-free trend, and is it a smart or a scam move?
If she is gluten sensitive, then okay. If she is not, then it's a D or an E somewhere. Because why? If you're not sensitive to gluten, if you're not having gluten allergy, then why to stop gluten? In between, I know, I think so, few years back, there was a huge trend of gluten free. आपके आटे में gluten है was the headlines of all ads. आपके आटे में gluten है. Atta is made up of wheat, and wheat has gluten, so obviously it will have gluten. Okay, so, and it's not something which is harmful for us. Okay, it's not something which is harmful for us. It's normal, and we have been consuming it over time. And if you're not allergic to it, if you're not sensitive to it, I don't think so. It is something which we need to focus on. Gluten free things. Okay. So, if you are gluten free, in case if someone is having gluten sensitivity, then they can shift to like grains which don't have gluten. Okay, like there are millets. They can shift to millets which don't have gluten in them, or rice for that sake, that they don't have gluten in them. Oats do have gluten in them. Oats, barley have gluten in them. So if you're sensitive, then only you need to be gluten free. Otherwise, you don't need to be gluten free. And mostly during the early stages of the child, like when a child is born, the first 6 months should be solely breastfeeding, and after that we start weaning foods. Okay, the weaning foods, during that time we do recommend people not to give them this gluten and all, because their linings are not developed that much. Okay, and we don't want to expose that like building linings to something which is heavy to digest. So in kids who are like 6 months and all, and most of the time in Indian household, we see we are having rotel, just one bite and give it in their mouth or do like this. So in these cases, if they are exposed to gluten at a very young age when their linings are not well developed, so they can sometimes develop sensitivity because their linings might be damaged because of this thing we do. Like unintentionally we do it, but this can affect their linings. Okay. Later on in diet, like after 7 to 8 months, you can slowly include gluten in their diet. Okay. And for layman, I don't think so. Gluten free is something you need to focus on until
Yes.
and unless you have
So
some like
yeah,
thing to it.
if there is celiac disease, definitely you have to stop gluten completely. That's when these gluten-free
Completely.
products come in picture. Now, if you're gluten sensitive, then you can have some amount of gluten, but you have to, find out your threshold level,
Find
find
out
out
your
the products
threshold.
that suit you, and continue having
Suits
those.
you. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Because it's
what
personal, like what
happens?
suits you is
Yeah.
different. Like not everyone can like have that amount of gluten at a time.
And by the way, for the audience, gluten is a protein. So, why are you restricting gluten for nothing?
Restricting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And most of these gluten-free products, 70% of them are high in some or the other unneeded sugar or fat. So why are you simply switching to that product when you can have gluten, which is protein, and enjoy, the texture that gluten gives to our rotis, the stretch and pull that comes into our
The
products
bitter.
is because of gluten. So why? Why? Simply why?
Why? Like simply why? Right.
And
Okay.
even all the gluten free if you're making your wheat gluten free, now that form of wheat would lack iron, folic acid, B vitamins, because these all come with the gluten. So you're simply restricting yourself of some essential nutrients as well.
Also,
And
it's not very much palatable as well. Just be knowing
exactly,
everything and having that pulpy thing.
yeah. And what would be the better alternative if you want to have gluten-free alternatives? What would be a
So if
better
I
food alternative?
Yes, yes. If you want gluten-free foods or healthy alternatives, will be millets. Focusing on millets, like there are many jwari, bajra, and all that things. You can include ragi. So they are very much rich in micronutrients, and they have a low glycemic index. So they will give you satiety over a period of time. And also they are very much healthy, and they have a good amount of fiber to it. So if you're gluten sensitive and you don't want gluten to be part of your diet, then you can surely shift to millets and rice as well.
And when it comes to breads, what would you say? How about sourdough?
Sourdough, yeah, you can include it, but again, it's based on how the consumer responds to it, like how they
Yeah,
take
and
it.
while fermenting the dough, the gluten slowly breaks down.
It breaks
Now,
down, breaks down.
and that's how it helps with people with gluten sensitivity. You can have sourdough.
Sensitive.
But again, you have to find out what is your threshold and
Your
if you
threshold.
can consume or not. Okay, now let's go to the crazy diets because these are dangerous. Please, no one look who has not come across these diets, please do not follow any of these. But it's just I was
Trends.
shocked coming across these diets. But let's go ahead with the first one. So we have Djokovic. He follows a watermelon cleanse. That is, he has watermelon for 3 days for detox. What would you grade?
Okay. Okay. So watermelon cleanse for 3 days straight. D minus D something C, because why detox, like is detox the whole reason for doing this? Then let me tell you, your kidneys and liver are very much capable of doing detox for your body. You don't need external things going in your body for detox, first of all. And watermelon is good for hydration. If you're having it in hot summers and all, it's very much hydrating, fresh and all. But having it as a whole meal for 3 days? No, not at all. You're missing your, like, restricting your body from consuming the macros and micros which are essential for your body. In 3 days, you're having just watermelon, you will be drained of energy. You're just hydrating yourself, most of it. Okay, you will be drained of energy. You will be drained of your essential nutrients. You will have so much of weakness at the end of the day. So it's not needed for a detox, and it doesn't need to be followed over for 3 days, first of all. This kind of diets, if someone is doing and someone is very eager to do it under a supervised person and not 3 days, we don't recommend at all to go it beyond 2 days. So that's what I will say.
And it would definitely cause a lot of sugar spikes because watermelon has a lot of water, but it has sugar as well. There's nothing else.
Yes.
So sugar spikes, sugar crashes, fatigue, headaches, all these would definitely be there. A better alternative would be something like, a 1 day detox of watermelon,
1 day or
cucumber,
two
mint,
days
feta,
max.
something in the form of a salad in which you're getting protein and fats as well. That is
Fats.
okay.
Watermelon salad with nuts and feta is what you can have. Like, you are getting a proper other nutrients also you are getting from it. Just watermelon is giving you nothing.
Yes,
Nothing.
and actually, what Novak did was he has a detox program that is designed by this tennis champion, and it's a part of a larger wellness retreat in Bangkok that he has, and he himself guides the people who come in. And this 3 day watermelon cleanse is not a diet he has publicly endorsed or promoted, and he is the brand ambassador of this product called Sila, and it is a electrolyte packed drink which promotes hydration, replenishing the nutrients, and it is in watermelon flavor. So
Okay.
imagine the marketing and how
It can be a
people
publicity stunt
twist
doing this.
watermelon and just launch it. The
Before,
product
yeah,
might be
before
good and all
launching,
of
he
that,
must, yeah,
and we even don't know if it could be just a random person who just picked up watermelon from the product description and just, oh, this is watermelon cleanse, we are going on 3 days with only watermelon, and
yes,
that's how these myths come in the picture.
yes.
Okay, let's move ahead. This one is the most crazy one, Kim Kardashian's tapeworm diet. It seems she took parasites to fasten weight loss.
A total F. A total fail. My God, why would someone do that to themselves? It's too much dangerous, mostly illegal. Like, we as people, normal laymen also who takes deworming pills. They like do all this food hygiene things, food we are cleansing food, we are cooking and all things to keep things away from our, like, system. And there is this person who is introducing these things to her system, and people are believing it. And if someone is following it, then please stop it. You're killing yourself, you're damaging your organs, and it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Like, you shouldn't never ever even think about it. Please, even don't even think about it. Doing this tapeworm diet and all. Like, did she seriously do this diet?
No, no, she did not. So these tapeworms, like this diet existed long ago. But
Long
what was
ago.
the system was that this tapeworm diet included ingesting the parasitic worm eggs, now which grow inside your intestine and they then absorb all the nutrients and energy from your digestive
Nutrients
system. And that's where
system.
you do not, you start losing weight.
Wait.
But these tapeworm larvae can migrate to your brain as well, and
Brain,
it can
right.
cause seizures,
Seizures.
and these parasites steal your nutrients. It can cause anemia, vitamin deficiencies of literally anything.
Lots of things, and they are damaging your organs. They are damaging the source of everything. They are damaging your organs. So it's so much dangerous. Please no.
Yeah, and what she actually did was she followed a strict low carb diet. It included
Mhm.
a proper clean eating pattern with protein, vegetables to lose weight, but she did not consume worms as a part of her diet. The rumor, how did it spread,
Rumor.
was the idea that eating your way to a slimmer waist. There's a slang which comes along with it,
It's a slang.
catching the worm,
Okay.
meaning to gain or, act early. Now that catching the worm was
Turned
a
into
term
a,
considered consuming worms, and it led to the whole
oh
viral
my
context that
God.
she started worms to lose weight.
Worms to lose weight. And people misinterpret things, first of all, and these things go viral, second of all, and third of all, people, I don't know, wind up following this kind of thing sometimes. Okay, they don't, no one has time to go in that story and this and that. They'll just see the top of the news, just the headlines, and okay, this is what she did, and this is what we should be doing to have that ideal figure that they patronize or like they look at towards it. So you don't need to have that ideal figure as them. They are models or they are doing something in their field that's their need, or maybe that's their choice. You don't need to do like harm yourself and restrict yourself from all the nutrients to be like someone else. Your body is still different.
Okay, so a third one is Gwen Paltrow's coffee enemas. Now she claims to uh, have coffee enemas, and it helps cleanse the colon. What do you say?
Mm. No, you like
Speechless.
why? No way. Please feel. Because, see, first of all, as I said previously, to cleanse your body, to detox, which has been going all around, detox, detox, detox. Your liver is there, your kidneys are there, and they are very good at their job, and they are doing everything to detox your body, and they are meant for it. Okay, you don't need to take something external in your body to detox. That's just a thing in your mind that something external will come and cleanse all over your system. That doesn't work like this. Okay, they're just laxatives which will drain off your gut, and then this gut, the good bacteria also gets like washed off from your gut, which is essential. It takes time to build up that good bacteria in your stomach, what you're eating or your habit, and everything. Lot of things goes in the good bacteria part. And when you're having such kind of laxatives, you're having enemas, you're cleansing your body, you're cleansing your gut, not your system or your body, just your gut. And you're cleansing good and bad, everything, you're cleansing your gut. It's
So
nothing
what
which is helpful in this.
So what Gwyneth does is she uses coffee enemas. Enemas as such are also not recommended for a regular person unless you have, a gut or a, gut dysbiosis or some specific
Biases.
condition that requires your gut to be cleansed, and then, a proper diet with pro and prebiotics in your system. In coffee
Absolutely.
enemas, coffee is completely acidic, and you're literally burning your intestinal lining by
In
doing
this
this.
sense. Yes.
And you have kidneys and livers for a reason. Kidneys and a
Absolutely.
liver for a reason to help you detox. So why would you do it?
Why?
You
Like,
can
you
simply
don't need
have
it.
probiotic yogurt with flax seeds or any fiber-rich food and any gut uh, bacteria benefiting food, which is pre and probiotics. And definitely that is as simple as helping your flora flourish. You do not need to
Flourish.
do any difficult enemas of these sort.
Enemas, right, right, absolutely.
Okay, let's go to the lion diet, Chris Hemsworth's lion diet, wherein it was shown that he has only beef and salt for his role of Thor in the Marvel movies. So it
Mm.
was said that he ate only steak but nothing else. What do you grade it?
Like as you said, it was that particularly for that role. That role it says all over there. So it for me I would say it's a D, because you're restricting all other things, just focusing on lean protein. Okay, just protein and just meat. You're not getting fibers. You're not getting your other probiotics, prebiotics from your diet. And fat, maybe you might be getting the fat. If it's a steak, then there must be smothering it. So fat is there, okay, but that too it's burning and burning and burning, smothering in the oil. So okay, what kind of fat they use. But again, the protein and the fibers and the prebiotics, the probiotics, and other micronutrients, other major grains from your diet are just vanishing. There is no fruits, there is no vegetables, nothing. Then it's like this can lead to constipation over a period of time if you're taking it. Okay, if your hydration levels are low and all, and you're just having just meat, then it can lead to constipation. And as it was said, it was for a particular period of time, just for the role. So he must be, of course, supervised, like nutritionally, medically, whatever it is. So it's supervised, but overall it will affect his health. Okay, the gut will go into havoc, like he's not getting the required nutrients, required probiotics, not getting fiber to ferment. So he might have gut issues later on. But for a lay person who has no thought role to do, so please don't consume this kind of things, like only having meat. Balance out your meals, have meat, pair it with vegetables, pair it with cereals, pair it with pulses, and make it a complete whole meal and not just focus on one food group. That's what I will say.
So what actually Chris Hemsworth did was he followed a Mediterranean style diet, only with more meat
Protein.
in the diet, including the rest of the nutrients and the veggies and all of those. He was definitely having more stake for that role because he had to have that muscle power and show
Have muscle
that
power.
on screen. But it was again short-lived, short period of time, and definitely it was properly under proper supervision, guidance, and
Supervision,
all
right?
the
Exactly. Exactly. It's
yes.
under proper supervision. That's what people need to know and keep it in mind.
Okay, so this next one is crazy because when I tell you what exactly happened behind the scenes, so we have Katy Perry. She is believed to have followed a baby food diet, and it's the baby food diet consists of eating only pureed veggies instead of proper meals.
Right.
Grade it,
No,
please.
please, I would grade it. Oh my God, I think so. I'm grading everyone very low. This also is minus
We'll
C.
we'll come to the good ones.
Yes, minus C. Like why? Minus C because why pureed foods? Okay, you are having variety of like maybe she is having variety of mixtures pureed together, but why can't you have a simple meal? Like what difference you are puring a fruit pure, like you are having a fruit puree instead of fruit. You are just like removing the fiber from it. For first most you're removing the fiber, and if you are just straining it and all, so it's useless having pureed foods. Your mouth feel of having that food, that satisfaction a person has after having food. If you don't have any health issues, if you don't have dentures, if you don't have any like teeth issues, then why you need pureed food? If you're able to eat and stand and eat properly, you have all teeth, your mouth and everything is functioning very well, you do not need to have pureed foods. Okay, so and again you can't puree everything, and if you're not having a proper balanced diet, you're just focusing on one ingredient at a time, is not something we tell people to do, because we want a diversity in your diet. We must have a diversity in food groups, food type, different textures, to have we have that relationship with food. And if you're just having pureed food, is just for, I think so, survival. Having just pureed food is just for the source of energy and not as a food connection. We like the enjoy we enjoy food, and having that food connection is missed somewhere in these things.
And chewing causes satiety, and that satiety level comes because of our hormone leptin. Now, lack of
Leptin.
chewing will reduce leptin, and you will keep feeling hungry. So, why spike your insulin levels by having pureed food? So, what
Right.
exactly happened was Katy Perry, she did weight loss after giving birth to a baby. She did not shift to any baby food diet. but it was just weight loss after delivering.
Post baby.
And
Yes.
yes, and post delivery, all those were removed. Only baby food and diet were
Oh my
came together
God. Oh
to
my God.
this new trend.
Like things go around like this. And my God, people might start believing in this kind of diets. That they might
Exactly.
actually end up doing these things which never existed in the first place. Okay. So really read properly, do a nice research, go back end of it, check it, and then only follow it, please.
Okay. Now let's stop with these weird diets. Let's come back to three. We'll discuss three good diets due to lack of time.
Okay.
Let's jump right into Jennifer Aniston's slow carb rule, wherein she pairs carbs with fiber, protein, and what would you grade it? And let's quickly describe how this diet is good
It's it's
for health.
it's it's absolutely A. It's absolutely A. If you're pairing your carbs with your fiber and all, then it's good. You are getting satiety. And what kind of carbs you're preferring? It's what is important. Like if you're having refined carbohydrates, then please know more of slow carbohydrates like this are oats and all things, whole grains. And if you're having them, it's totally good. Totally heads up because if you're reducing refined carbs and just pairing it with good amount of fiber and also some protein might work. Yes, some protein and some fats and balancing out throughout, then it's absolutely good for your health.
And she follows a perfectly balanced diet, and there's nothing, from what we have already discussed. And pro tip when it comes to following this diet in our Indian culture, you can try dal, rice, ghee.
Right.
It's a perfect, complete protein, slow carb,
Zero carbs
slow digesting food, and there's nothing rocket science in this meal,
and
and
maybe some
it's
veggies
as
on the
simple.
side.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Okay.
let's go to the next one. So this diet is called if it fits your macros. So Hugh Jackman's IIFYM diet. He's an Australian actor and singer. He says that he eats pizza, but he tracks his macros. So what would you say on that?
So if this things for, I'd say a B plus because like you need to know what you're eating. For that, you need to be very much aware of what you're eating or have someone who is very much aware of the foods and all the nutrients which go in it and aware of what your body needs. Okay, because my needs and your needs are totally different. So first of all, you should be aware of your needs and how you're meeting it to food. Then you should know what goes in your food, what ingredients are going, what's the cooking process. Many things affect the availabilities of macros and micros in your food. So all if you're aware of all these things and if you're doing it under supervision or you yourself are very much aware of what all this is, then absolutely you can follow it. But this method can sometimes bring that number factor in your diet, like number factor relationship between you and your food. That food is more than being something important. It just numbers you're counting all the time, which can disturb your food relationship.
Yeah, and given another tip for following this kind of a diet, you can simply try the hand portion method in which your one palm of protein should be there and a fistful of carbs should be there in your meal.
Carbs,
Best fiber and fat is a thumb
a little bit of
sized fat
portion of
quantity, and half your plate should be with fruits and veggies and all the
vegetables.
fiber that is needed. So, okay, the last one we have Priyanka Chopra's 80-20 rule, wherein she believes in eating 80% healthy, 20% is fun. She even mentioned samosas when she had described this diet. So, what would you grade it?
It's an A plus, of course, because we are like people, we are humans. We do crave for things which we love or which we indulge in our childhood. So as a dietitian, I myself may be indulging in some things which I liked as a child, which I know are not healthy. Okay, but I can't like remove it throughout my diet because I know what goes in it. I know the portion size and when I should be consuming it and how much I should be consuming. Okay, so if you know these things, then absolutely you can indulge in things like the 20%. But that doesn't mean you're having like whole healthy meal throughout the day and you're having a one whole cake in that 20% of your indulgence, please. So the 20% indulgence has to be distributed over out your day, and what you're eating in your 80% should be of more focus, what you're eating, when you're eating, how much you're eating. And if you're very much aware of what you're eating, and if you keep the portion sizes in control, then of course you can do this 80/20 rule.
Yes. So there's one more term I would like to highlight over here, which comes in, it's called adaptive thermogenesis, which basically means that your body's metabolism adjusts to the amount of food you are having. Now, if you are starving your body, your metabolism will only go down.
We'll go.
So your body will, start storing on fat instead of actually losing
Yes,
fat. That's when we see, I have
yes,
seen a lot of people, they restrict their diet so much, they're not losing weight at all. Why? Because you're just simply starving your body. And your body,
body, right?
it's their, safety mechanism that, okay, now I'm not getting enough, so I'm going to store in, whatever I have.
Yes,
So
yes,
instead, eat
absolutely.
properly, eat a good balanced meal. Do not restrict yourself to, like just one roti and that's it. That's your meal. Please do not do that.
Yeah. Because the same topic, the same thing I said before previously when we started this thing during this rice thing only, that if you restrict your body, if you start consuming less, your metabolism will slow down over a period of time, and your body will go in a shock of starvation, and it will think that, oh my god, I'm starving, I need to store everything I'm getting. So instead of losing weight, you will be that's set on a particular weight, and you won't lose it.
Okay, so a few questions, quick ones. Which celeb's diet shocked you the most scientifically?
Scientifically the tapeworm one, but I know it was not real. But still, people like made up this thing, a tapeworm diet, consuming tapeworm pills. My God! And if someone believes it, and someone by any chance try to do things because they are crazy fans, they are fans who like really idolize them. And if they go into doing something this dangerous, then it's very, very much dangerous to their health. And before believing or following any celeb, know that they have their trainers, they have their dietitians, they have a whole big team, like seasoned team behind them, who are looking into every micro detail of their things, and you don't have that. So before doing something, take expert advice, reach out to dietitians or nutritionists or doctors if that's what you think, and don't blindly believe something and start following it.
Okay, and this diet, tapeworm diet, is actually banned in a lot of countries. So please do not get into such
Do
problems. Okay, so the next question is, why do extreme diets backfire metabolically?
So just now we did this explanation. Just now we explained that when you do extreme of too much of something or too less of something, your body, who is used to a perfect thing, which like normal things which you have been doing over a period of time, your body gets used to it. And when you go to extreme ends of over consuming something or under consuming something, your body goes into a metabolic shock. Your body goes into a thing where they don't know what to do. Like, are we starving? Are we, like it says, fear of flight? Okay, then when you don't know, are we in some danger, or we should be storing our energy, or are we like starving is starvation thing, because our body can't see, like body like literally can't be saying what we are eating and why we are doing it, all these things. We directly put in the low caloric things, or we directly put in high caloric things, keeping in mind something else. So this will affect your metabolism, which in turn will keep you just stuck on one particular thing, one particular weight set, and then weight management gets more difficult. Then if you're losing weight or gaining weight, it gets more difficult. If you're just giving metabolic shock to your body in between changing diets here and there every 1 or 2 months, then it's
Even the yo-yo effect, it affects a lot of people. The gaining, losing,
gaining,
and then it's
losing,
the
right?
and then after trying all these experiments, they come to us, and then we are
Yes,
like, it will take time. Let your body
it
adjust to
will
the
take time.
diet.
people are very fast in this fast-paced world. They just need quick fix. It like I'll do this and I'll just boom done. We are done. Like we will be in this perfect shape, like ideal shape, which we consider to be. So it's not like that. It's your body. It will take time. Okay, and this quick fixes don't stay. They are quick and they'll just move on quick from your body. They won't stay over a long period of time. They are not sustainable at all.
Okay, so one last question. What's one healthy trend that you would never recommend? Anything of the Instagram reels?
I would say this cutting down on something like also this enemas which you said, like enemas or detox they are doing for a prolonged period of time. 1 week
Juice
detox also I've
cleanses.
seen. Yes, so I've seen people who do 1 week juice diet and cleanse diet, and eventually end up so weakened from inside. They have zero energy, more of irritation. They get more irritated, more fatigue is there. You're hungry, you don't know what to do, and it's just ends up having a mess of your body and doesn't detox something. It does detox your mind, and you will have so many weird thoughts in your head. Yeah, I should eat too much, I should stop eating, what am I doing? You'll start questioning everything. And you have your liver, you have your kidneys, so please rely on them. They're very good at their job. So you don't need external detox. That's what I think.
And there's this final viral. This wasn't really viral. That's why I did not add it into our list. But Beyonce, she followed a master cleanse in which she had lemon juice with cayenne pepper for 10 days. That was the only thing that she was having. That's what the diet portrayed. And this diet is supposed to be followed for 10 to 45 days. It's known as a detox diet. And this diet she actually followed for almost, I think, 45 days for her weight loss, for her role in a 2006 movie, 2006 song role called Dreamgirls. So that's what she herself mentioned in a interview with Oprah. So she lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks, but and it's also referred to as a lemonade diet. And please do not do it. Even though it worked for her, there was a lot of issues that came up when she did it, and she's just done it once. She never did it again. There's a reason why people do not redo
Do
those
it
kind of
again.
diets. So
I know,
that was
absolutely. There's so many things that will come back. Okay, the weight will come back, and you will have so many body issues later on. So much of weakness and so much of things going on in your body after doing this kind of diets, which you don't see while doing it. But at the end, you will just regret doing these things. Like,
I think let's conclude the session with the final best diet that I would say was the 80-20 rule, wherein you're eating 80% healthy, 20% have fun,
as an
and
Indian.
just follow that, and you'll be good to go. And thank you so much, Hazel, for joining us today. And everyone can follow Pixie Nourish on Instagram and DM her for diet plans as well. And any closing comments from your end?
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It was a great session with this here diets and all people do and how it's misinterpreted should be brought in light, because these things we just read and we let it go. People do follow and they have so much of issues later on, but they go unnoticed because they think it's something that they have done to themselves. Okay, and they once the damage is done, they'll come to us and they'll say this and that. So before doing damage to yourself, you should take expert advice, like go to someone, reach out. If you want to reach out and she is there, you can reach out to us. We'll love to help you. And for the rice, you don't need to stop rice. If you want to lose weight, you can have rice in your weight loss plan and still have a healthy balanced meal. So balancing is the key, balancing out your nutrients, your different macros, micros, different food groups in your diet, and it should be personalized. It should be personalized to your needs, your likings, your palatability, your beliefs, and what is required for you, specifically made for you, and not just for some other person you're following it blindly.
Okay, with that, let's close this session. If we have any further questions, you can put it on the community or on Instagram, and we'll get back to you. And thank you so much for joining us today. And see you on the next episode.